Christians have long been wary of the mainstream media, and for good reason. The motivations behind the stories and reports presented by major news outlets are often shrouded in bias and agendas that can be detrimental to Christian values and principles. One of the primary concerns is the media's blatant disregard for objectivity and fairness. Many mainstream media outlets have been caught red-handed in their attempts to shape public opinion and sway the narrative to fit their own ideological perspectives. This is particularly evident in the way they report on issues related to Christianity and faith. The media often portrays Christians in a negative light, perpetuating stereotypes and misinformation that fuel public misconception and hostility towards the faith. For instance, the media's coverage of high-profile Christian figures and institutions often focuses on scandals and controversies, while ignoring the countless stories of goodwill, charity, and selflessness that demonstrate the true spirit of Christianity. Furthermore, the mainstream media has a long history of actively working to undermine Christian values and principles. They frequently promote agendas that are antithetical to biblical teachings such as abortion, LGBTQ+ rights, and secular humanism. By presenting these perspectives as normative and acceptable, the media creates a cultural narrative that is hostile to Christian beliefs and values. This can have a profound impact on the way Christians are perceived and treated in society, often leading to marginalization, exclusion, and even persecution. Another reason Christians cannot trust the motivations of the mainstream media is the lack of diversity and representation in their ranks. The media is largely dominated by secular, liberal elites who have little understanding or appreciation for Christian perspectives. This creates an echo chamber effect, where only certain viewpoints are represented, while others are ignored or dismissed. As a result, Christians often find themselves on the outside looking in, with their voices and concerns being ignored or misrepresented by the very institutions that are supposed to serve the public interest. In addition, the mainstream media's obsession with ratings and revenue can lead to sensationalism and clickbait reporting, which can be particularly damaging to Christians. By highlighting controversies and scandals, the media can create a false narrative that perpetuates misunderstanding and hostility towards the faith. This can have serious consequences, from damaging the reputation of individual Christians and institutions to affecting the ability of Christians to share their faith and live out their values in the public square. The rise of social media has also created new challenges for Christians in their interactions with the mainstream media. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram have become key channels for news dissemination and public engagement, but they are also breeding grounds for misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda. The media's use of social media can amplify false or misleading narratives, creating a culture of outrage and polarization that can be toxic to Christian values and principles. In conclusion, Christians have every reason to be skeptical of the mainstream media's motivations. The media's bias, lack of diversity, and obsession with ratings and revenue can create a toxic environment that is hostile to Christian values and principles. By understanding these dynamics, Christians can be better equipped to navigate the complex and often treacherous landscape of modern media. They can also work to create alternative platforms and outlets that promote Christian perspectives and values, providing a balanced and nuanced view of the world that is often lacking in mainstream media. Ultimately, it is up to Christians to be discerning and critical in their consumption of media, seeking out credible sources and evaluating information based on biblical principles and values.